Jonathan Gannon holds a presser. James Conner shares his feelings on the final year of his contract, and a new rookie signs a contract. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh. This is my co-host, Charlotte Shaff.
Hello.
What have you been up to this week?
Oh, it's been a busy week. Memorial Day weekend. My husband and I took our oldest son to Los Angeles just for a nice little getaway to celebrate the end of middle school. We checked out the cool sneaker shops called Cool Kicks in downtown LA. That was literally the only thing he wanted to see when we were in LA. So we had to go there. He got himself a really cool new pair of, what is it, white Oreos. I'm not really into all the shoes, but he really wanted them and he was really excited. So glad that we could check that off the bucket list for him. And now I'm just into full swing of working again, and we're getting hot here in Phoenix.
Re-entry.
Mhm.
It's so funny. I'm in the Trophy Smack office in California for the next week. When I left on Tuesday in Phoenix, I got to the airport at 6:30 in the morning. It was already 80 degrees. When
Ugh,
I landed at John Wayne Airport in Orange County, it was 60 degrees.
it's wild, the difference. It is wild.
Yeah, and I was just so grateful that I had worn a little overshirt because I get cold on the plane. Otherwise, I would have been freezing.
I hear you on that one, sister.
Well, it has been an interesting week. I don't know if interesting is the right word. We're continuing with voluntary OTAs. There have been a couple of instances where the press has been able to meet with Jonathan Gannon and some of the players. And lucky for us, and actually all of you have the same access that we do to friend of the pod, Donnie Druin, because he puts out so many updates. You can visit si.com. I have it written down, si.com/NFL/Cardinals and see every single update that Donnie has done. I think on the 28th, which is what a lot of what we're talking about today on Tuesday, that he posted like 6 different articles, not just tweets and updates, but full
Oh
on.
yeah. He's busy. He is a busy guy.
He is so busy. But one of the things that really caught my eye was he had given some of the talking points on Twitter from Jonathan Gannon's press conference. And then he did this great write-up about James Conner and his feelings, Coach Gannon's feelings about James Conner. And I left feeling really warm and fuzzy because team culture is something that we've really talked a lot about on this show. And I wanted to know how you felt now after reading about James Conner and his impact on the team.
Well, I've definitely been a big fan of him. I love to see him do so well on the field. I was actually going down a little rabbit hole, learning a little bit more about him today. Unfortunately, the poor guy has had injuries every single season he's been in the NFL. He's never played a full season, but the fact that he has so much grit and he really wants to stay here with the Cardinals, even though this is his last year on his contract, I personally think that's a great thing, a great asset for the team. So I hope that he does really well this year. And it seems like Gannon really, really is behind him and he's cheering for him. The rest of the team really wants him to do well. The fact that the guy is only 28 years old, Apparently he's getting very old as a running back. So I think he's going to defy the odds. I think he's going to be somebody who's going to be able to impress people for the next couple of years on the field. I mean, he's young. When you think about it, when they talk about the age of a running back getting up to 30, and that's too old, I say let's let James Conner lead the way and just make such a big impact on the field.
I agree with you. I think he is being completely overlooked by analysts everywhere. And that's another article that actually Donnie has written or even put a thought out. But you're right, he's approaching 30. He's dealt with plenty of injury. The team drafted a rookie, Trey
Mhm.
Benson, and he was the second running back off the board for the whole draft, not our second pick, but the second running back off the board. So he's one of the better running backs in the class. But this last season, despite injury, James Conner had 1,000-yard plus season, which is what I
Mhm.
think every running back, every receiver even strives for. And it's really difficult for a running back to get that many yards. So I don't know why everybody's sleeping on James Conner.
I agree. I mean, he was on the bench for what, 4 games this
Yeah,
last season,
at least.
and he still reached his goal against the Seahawks. So good for him.
Yeah.
I wish him nothing but the best. And I feel as though his attitude about wanting to be the best running back possible and knowing that he has all the tools to do that makes a big difference. And it just goes to show that you're not going to let an injury get you down, and it's just going to make you better.
Exactly. I did want to touch on his thoughts about this being his last year under contract. He's quoted as saying, "It would be awesome to finish my career here, but no, nothing changes. If anything, it's time to turn it up even more going into my last year of the deal. Thankful I've gotten a chance to see the last year of it, so I'll go into it, give it everything I've got this year and see what happens next year. Hopefully, I'll stay, but I understand the business."
Oh,
That's what it is,
that's
business, right?
that's the hardest part. I mean, I understand it's a business, but I really hope that the Cardinals see how much value he brings to the team. And I hope that he is healthy the entire year and they can sign him on for another year.
From your lips to the universe ears. Well, outside of Jonathan Gannon's praise for James Conner, we had some other notes. He's mentioned that Kyler Murray is going to make a massive leap this season, and I think
Yes.
we can get on board with that. He also mentioned he's super impressed with the attendance of the voluntary OTAs, which we've talked quite a bit about on our show.
Yes.
And he is confident in the move that they made, moving Paris Johnson Jr. to left tackle. He was playing right tackle. They've moved him to left tackle, which I believe allows him to block for Murray's blind side. Here's my initial thought. I think it's great that the right tackle and the left tackle are training up in each other's roles. That just seems smart, injury wise, even.
Well, so Jonah Williams is going to go to the right, Paris is going to go to the left, and Paris actually played left tackle at Ohio State. So obviously, with Humphreys gone, the analysts are saying that they think that the left tackle is going to be a natural move for Paris. I'm thrilled to see what's going to happen. Let's see what happens. And then, speaking of, we also have some more team updates. If you haven't seen, Darius Robinson officially signed his contract on Tuesday.
I'm excited about it. There's not a ton of news to go alongside of him signing, other than we did get the details of the contract, which happens to just be a standard 4-year deal with the 5th year option. I was kind of getting a little bit nervous, like wondering what's going on. What are these negotiations? But nothing crazy. And Adam Schefter reports that the deal is fully guaranteed. Looking at my notes here, 13.86 million through the first 4 years. And I think that's great because if he were to be injured, he's still going to be taken care of. And I think that's really important when we think about these players out there putting their bodies on the line.
I'm just happy for him, and I think he's going to be an amazing asset to the team. And it sounds like he's already a big team player and excited. So let's see what happens.
We're big fans around here. Well, the last thing I wanted to touch on this week, it's not football related, it's basketball related, and that's the passing of Hall of Famer Bill Walton. He was a huge part of sports media, and he has a connection to Arizona with his son Luke playing for the Wildcats in the early 2000s. I was just wondering, totally, I didn't even really touch base with you on this part, but have you had any opportunity to meet with Bill Walton or talk with any of your colleagues who might have said anything about his passing?
Unfortunately, I have not, but my husband's family is from Tucson and they are all U of A grads, so they're big fans of him in general and because of his son. And I feel as though his personality was so big and so fun. I actually tweeted or retweeted something on Twitter where Pearl Jam paid a tribute to him last night in Seattle. That was pretty cool. So check that out on Twitter. But he just, he was so fun. Such a big personality. That's the type of person you want to hear sports from. He's somebody that didn't take himself too seriously, and he had a lot of fun, and you could tell that he really had a lot of passion for what he did and what he wanted to share with others. So I feel as though that's just a wonderful thing, and it's very sad that we lost such a great, big, amazing personality.
Yeah, it really is. And it just came to mind because it was all over the news. I'm sure it was all over the news everywhere, but because there was that little special connection, it seemed like we had a little bit of extra coverage and other sportscasters were reminiscing about their stories. So it was really nice. And sending all of our love to the Walton family and friends and hope that you have peace during this time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's about it. It's been another great week. If you have anything you want to add to this week's show, you can leave us comments. You can also find us on the app formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Kelly in Phoenix. She's at Shara Shaff. And what else was I going to say? The podcast. You can find it at Sick Pod Kelly. It's a little fledgling account there on Twitter as well.
Well, I love it and I follow it, and I hope you guys will too. And obviously, speaking of that, please make sure that you subscribe, like, share, anything you can do to support our show. We greatly appreciate it. And you can find us on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. So check us out. Let us know where you're listening or watching us from. We are always on Twitter and love to chat with everybody.
Of course. So we'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.